Hello, everyone, and welcome to this important episode of Ignition Time. Many people are angry about all the wasteful spending, about all the fraud, all the corruption that has been uncovered by Elon Musk and by the Doge team. If you want to get a status update on what's going on with all of these findings, just go to doge.gov, that's doge.gov, and you'll see a list of all the wasteful government spending. In this video, I'm going to ask the question, should money actually be refunded to the American people? Yes, you heard that right. First, let's take a look at a citizen journalist, another citizen journalist who expresses her intense frustration with what's going on at the government level with all the wasteful spending and essentially calling out all of the corruption that's existing in government. And she says, if you think, oh, there's a little bit of corruption happening, that's okay. She says that's like saying, hey, small fires are okay, and allowing small fires to become these giant, insurmountable California wildfires, which we've all heard about. So let's take a look at this citizen journalist who let's just say she's very open and she's very blunt about her opinion as to all the government fraud and all the misuse that's happening right now. And make sure you watch this video all the way through to the end, because I'll give you specific examples of some mind-blowing fraud, some mind-blowing corruption that has been happening with US taxpayer funds. First, let's start with this video featuring the citizen journalist I just mentioned.
You know, I was expecting some corruption, but this is beyond what I could even ever imagine. So my spouse and I were taken back a notch today. And if I'm honest, we are pretty much perpetually pissed off about it. And I don't care if you woke, awakened, or damn near comatose. If you have a brain cell left in this little head of yours, you would be upset too. Because what I'm about to tell you affects all working Americans, regardless of what side the aisle you own. Republic, I think you can, or demon to the crats. And I say that because I know the Democrats' hands are in the cookie jar, but there's a few Republicans' hands in the cookie jar as well. And we know that to be true. You see, people of America, we have to hold everybody accountable. Anyone who's lacing their pockets with our tax dollars needs to be held accountable. So with that being said, today we were watching Life, Liberty, and Leaven. And the report from Doge came out on Social Security. $50 to $100 billion in waste and fraud. Payments being sent out to Social Security numbers who are attached to dead people. Some payments being sent out to people who are 150 years old. It is safe to say these people are dead and pretty much made themselves comfortable in the dusty earth, if you know what I mean. Now, if you are part of the working class, this needs to concern you, regardless of what side of the aisle you sit on. For the people that's going to say stuff like, oh, well, you know, in the government, there's always a little fraud. You're like those little fires in California that got out of hand. We don't want no little fraud. But in this case, this is huge fraud. And this is a direct slap into the working class face. These people are robbing the American people blind. Why don't everybody care? I know many of y'all are young right now and y'all think y'all will never, ever, ever get old. And maybe the way things are going in this life, maybe that's a good thing. Only because they are robbing the future elderly people. And if you don't think that's criminal or even downright from the pits of hell, evil as evil does, then you deserve what you're getting. But my prayer is that God continue to use these people to expose this evil and wicked system, these evil and wicked bureaucrats and politicians that smile in your face and robbing you blind behind your back. These people are still the nickels off a dead man's eyes. That's an old saying. Go look it up. They're evil and wicked, and God himself is using these people to expose them. We want our money, Nancy Pelosi. We want our money, Chuck Schumer. We want our money, Elizabeth Warren. And we hear Mitch McConnell acting real brand new. We want our money, Mitch. We call for term limits for you evil, wicked people. Because the longer y'all in power, the more comfortable you get mismanaging the American people money. To steal from the nation's most vulnerable. Social Security, that's our future. Will any be left for us when we turn 65? Probably not. It'll be in your pockets while you're vacationing and skiing and running amok with our money in your back pockets. Time is up, you dirty, dirty people.
Now, speaking of fraud and waste, there's a pretty crazy British charity called Turquoise Mountain that actually educates women in Afghanistan about fairly ridiculous pieces of art and urinals. Yes, you heard that right. Now, this would be, this would be hard to believe if it was fiction, but unfortunately, it's actually true. Let's take a look at something that should make us all upset and all angry as taxpayers as we examine this rather unusual charity, which is an NGO, a non-governmental organization founded by Prince Charles, but which has been receiving US taxpayer money, and their funding was recently cut off. But take a look at what they were doing with US taxpayer funds, and then you'll understand exactly why a lot of Americans, including the lady I showed you at the start of this video, are extremely upset. Let's roll the tape and take a look at what's going on here with this rather unusual British charity. Let me know what you think.
Here is Rory Stewart explaining his connection to USAID.
Stopped. Doesn't matter. You have a contract. So, Turquoise Mountain, which my wife Shoshana runs, has a contract, had another $1 million to go. Money just stops.
Oh, hold on. Wait, there's a contract between some organization and USAID, and the contract stopped. And hold on, his wife ran that organization, and they were supposed to get another $1 million from the US government, and that just stopped? What organization does his wife run? It's called the Turquoise Mountain Foundation. You can't make this up. The Turquoise Mountain Foundation exists to teach Afghani peasants about degenerate modern art.
So this is in some ways often called the first piece of conceptual art.
این را که ما می‌بینیم نمونه اینه بعضی مردم اولین کار هنری مفکوره‌ای میگن.
Does anyone know what it is?
شما کسی می‌فهمید چی است؟
I don't expect the ladies to know.
کمود است.
Exactly. An artist called Marcel Duchamp, who's very important in Western art, put this toilet in an art gallery about 100 years ago.
That's where your money's going. Your money is going, or was going until Trump got hold of it, to pay off the wives of British politicians turned Yale professors to teach Afghanis who probably have more important things on their mind about how perverse Western anti-artists decided to pretend that urinals and toilets were, Caravaggio paintings.
And now we come to the big question. Should we as Americans start getting refunds? Should we start to get our money back from the US government for all this wasteful spending? And by the way, if we get money, we as Americans, we spend it. And that in turn improves the economy further, leads to more job creation, and leads to more growth for all of us. So should we get our money back? And will that lead to a boom in the economy? Is this even possible? Let's explore this rather interesting exchange. It's a short exchange on Fox News about us as Americans potentially getting our money back. Pretty incredible. Let me know what you think. Let's take a look at this clip.
This is from a viewer who reached out to me. She's in Cape Coral, Florida. And she says, Harris, could the government give all the taxpayers a refund from the money they're finding that went to places it never should have gone?
Yes, that is the next step, and that is the next natural step. When you are finding all of this money, when you are taking it back, when you are cutting off future streams of funding, give that back to the American people. Then you will see the economy absolutely explode, and people will once again be able to take out new loans and start new businesses and all the wonderful things that follow when they have more of their own money.